So today, December 31st at 8, I'll be talking about my review on the first season of Sopranos. Mind you, this is my second time watching the show. I'm rewatching it. And since I finished it 2 years ago, but I'm doing in-depth reviews of everything that I'm watching or rewatching. And to start this off, I just want to say that whoever had this idea cooked and they don't even know what they were creating. I think the character of Tony Soprano in this series and the supporting characters are just, but I can't get too far ahead of myself because that's for another review. I think from the get-go, it starts out tame. The first season, it starts out building the characters, building what we as a watcher are going to expect for the next 13 episodes. And it was very subtle, but very, very, very mindful of what they were giving out to the audience and what they were keeping. There were specific scenes where I was just like, damn, facts. Spoilers ahead. I think the addition of a therapist, a psychiatrist in a gangster's life was used so good that the gangster himself, Tony Soprano, used those skills to form a better understanding of him controlling everything. Him, for example, for his elders, like Uncle June and his mother, he made them think they were in control. And he wouldn't have done it without the help of Dr. Melfi. And maybe the hit would have worked. The hit that Uncle June paid for or was going to do, that failed miserably. Not once, but twice. And in back-to-back days. And I think the mind of Tony Soprano is just so good and so malleable that I think if it wasn't, he wouldn't have been able to get so far in the season. If it was real life, he would have died. He was already a strong man, but an intelligent man, like an intelligent man using psychology against people of power, like his uncle, people that work for him, and having that connection with the psychologist or the therapist to have her give him clues or ideas to just be in control. And whenever he had those panic attacks was due to the fact that he was in control. That's what I noticed, at least, that a lot of his medication was helping when he was in control. It was the most useful when he was in control, because when he wasn't, he'd be fainting even with the medication or with the stress. He'd not stop on purpose his medication, but he'd forget to take his medication. And I think it's quite beautiful that he progressively opens up even to someone like, what's his name? I forget his name. The one that works for him. The one that works for him. The one that gets the donuts and stuff. You guys, if you guys watch the show, you'll understand. He has empathy for someone that might be feeling depression, might be feeling this sense of lack in their life, like he might once felt, once experienced, and it's a conversation had in a car, and his worker, he's more like his errand boy. He's not made yet in this season. He opens up about not wanting to get up, feeling this type of way, and you could see the expression of Tony Soprano's actor change subtly, and feel empathy, and talk about talking to someone, or if it might not be depression, if it may be depression that he's dealing with. And I don't remember quite 100%, but I do think that he mentions therapy or a psychiatrist or something of the fact, or getting on medication for depression. And I think the whole time he's just looking out for him, you know, as someone that has gone through a season of therapy. He's just looking out for just someone that works for him, someone that is like a son to him. Some might say it's like a son to Tony Soprano. For the longest time, he's a son that's very disrespectful at times, but he loves him. And I think after taking a year or two not watching it, after I finished it, I really learned to appreciate the small conversations or the small gestures every character was doing. And I think I'll see a lot of that moving forward. I'm a D1 Glazer when it comes to this show, and I relate everything to this show due to the fact of, that doesn't make sense, due to the fact that it simply raised my expectations higher for everything. I think the concept of this show is really cool. I like gangsters. I've always liked Italian films, Italian gangster films, and accents and their culture, and embracing it how they do in the movies and the shows, specifically this one, is why I like their culture so much. And hopefully one day God will move my way to Italy and get to visit Italy. I think it's a beautiful place out there. But anyways, I'm ranking this season like an 8, a solid 8 to commence. It was really good, but there was some times where it was just like, it was a little slow in some parts of the season. 8, music wise, an 8 as well. Characters, an 8. 3, it's across the board. And yeah, I hope whoever sees this and has not watched The Sopranos, I plead you to watch it. Especially if you watched anything like Breaking Bad, Narcos, you watched any of those shows, because those won't amount to this show, and you'll understand why.